And now we're joined by the great Joe Benigno, and his Football Monday Call is brought to you by Empire City Casino. Winners play here by Approved Oil. Lock in your low oil rate at freezerate.com and by HL Gross Jewelers of Garden City. Bro, how are you?
Well, first of all, you need to get a big golf umbrella is what you need, because when you get these small umbrellas, you know how it is in the city. The wind blows. Like, you'll see, like, on days like today, you'll see, like, the streets strewn with umbrellas.
I know. That's why I stopped getting one, because they break freaking constantly.
But you got to get, like, one of these Tiki knows, right, Tiki? One of these big golf umbrellas.
Right, even though you don't play golf. Get the golf umbrellas, because they're designed to take the wind in and not fold.
No, I get you.
That's what you got to get, bro.
All right.
About it. And it's still crummy.
Yeah, don't buy the cheap one on the street from the guy standing on the corner.
No.
Yeah, they give you one good turn and then they're gone.
Yes.
All right, where do you want to? You want to start with the winner, or do you want to start with Bill Belichick's interest supposedly in the Jets?
About Belichick. Screw him. You know what? All the years that this guy, ripped our team, he wouldn't come on. How about and how about this? And I had a relationship with him, man.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
And this guy did not come on. When I had the retirement there for 2 weeks or whatever, we tried to get Bill on. I know Martell tried to get him on. Bill refused to come on. So you know what? You hate the Jets. You've ripped the Jets forever. Go coach North Carolina. Enjoy your time down there. Hope your girl has some nice classes at Chapel Hill. See if you can get North Carolina into the playoffs next year in the crummy ACC. You only got to beat a couple teams, Miami, Clemson, maybe Georgia Tech. And there you go.
Yeah. Well, now you got to beat SMU. How the hell?
That's right, SMU. I forgot about that.
Why they're in the ACC? Who knows?
Well, I mean, Stanford is too. Right? I mean, what is that all about?
Would you have wanted Bill? Like, would you have been interested if he truly had interest in the Jet job?
No, I'm done with him. And I don't think he's the same coach anymore. He's 72 years old. I want no part of him now. You screwed my franchise, okay? And, I forgave him for that 25 years ago, but no more. Because he's done nothing now but just, pee all over it. He's ripped Woody Johnson.
Yeah.
He ripped him when they got rid of Salah. Not that he was wrong about it.
Right.
But I've had it.
Well, this is why I was saying this earlier. I don't believe he ever had interest in the Jet job. I think he's such a Scrooge that he wanted Woody to beg him. He wanted to be in a meeting with a guy he has no respect for because he doesn't respect Woody, and basically wanted to see the billionaire beg Bill Belichick, and he never got that. That's what I think he was looking for.
Yeah, well, to hell with him. Go coach North Carolina. See you.
Are you pleased that the Jets said no thank you?
Yes. Obviously. I think it's pretty obvious, right, Pete?
So we were talking earlier, Joe, about Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. And I said, and this, I'm not saying anything about next year. Evan took it as I want Aaron Rodgers as the Jet quarterback next year. But for the first time, he looked healthy. Yeah. He looked like he wasn't hobbling. He ran for 50-something yards.
45,
45 yards. And he never looked like he was limping back to get to his passing depth. I mean, for the first time, and it's unfortunate because the season's already done, Aaron Rodgers actually looked okay.
Bro, I want him back next year. I can tell you that right now. Look, I want to run back this offense. We got players honest about it. He could still play. He'll leave, go somewhere next year and be great, and we'll all be sucking wind. And and all these people, all the writers who have been trying to get him out of town and trying to bench him and all it is, and I won't say the names, okay? All right, these guys have been covering the Jets far too long. Okay, will be the same guys that'll rip the Jets next year when he's playing like an MVP for somebody and he's not on the team anymore. I want him back. I am now sold. Here's where I am now. Let's go to the coach for a second, okay? They're going to interview this guy from the Tennessee Titans, okay, who I guess he was with Vrabel all those years.
John Robinson, yeah.
Okay, let's go. Bring him in. Bring Vrabel in. Vrabel will want to win now. Vrabel's not going to want to come here and say, let's rebuild.
Right.
No. I'm done with rebuilding, Evan. We got a big-time offense here. We got a lot of big-time play. Devontae Adams, tremendous. I want it back. Are you kidding me? This guy, that's the best game I've seen since Don Maynard against the Raiders in 1968.
He had that drop early, but after that, he was fantastic.
And by the way, let me also point this out because it was pointed out yesterday by Chris Myers during the game. The Jets lead the NFL in dropped passes. They had 28 coming into the game. They had 3 more yesterday. Adams dropped one. That stiff, the tight end, 89, whatever his name is, from Ohio State, he stinks. He dropped one.
Ruckert.
And then Allen Lazard on a pass where you could not have thrown the ball better than Rodgers did, which should have been a first and goal on the 5-yard line. He doesn't secure it. The guy knocks it out of his hands. That looked like it was going to be a big play because Carlson missed a field goal after that. They should have went for it there anyway. But be that as it may. No, I want this guy back. Bro, this guy's thrown 23 touchdowns with 8 interceptions.
He's got a chance to break the franchise record for touchdown passes in a season, which is crazy.
Right, which is 30. Look, Joe Namath never threw more than 26 touchdowns in a season.
Yeah,
that was
different
1960s. No, I'm just saying.
Right.
That was 1967, and he also threw 28 interceptions that year. And that was also a 14-game season. But outside of Vinny Testaverde, who threw 29 one year, and, of course, Fitzpatrick, 31, I mean, this guy's only thrown 8 picks. I know the big pick in the Leonard Williams, that was brutal. But I'll say this again. If the defense and the kicking game was what it was last year, Ev, we're looking at a 7 or 8 win team right now.
It could be completely different. Could be. Now, speaking of the defense, what's going through your mind on that opening drive when the Jaguars marched down the field for the first time in 18 games?
Of course, we got our right? And then Sauce Gardner, the overrated Sauce Gardner, and nobody needs to stick up their rear end more than he does. Let me tell you right now, Sauce Gardner, defensive holding in the end zone, of course. No. And then he had a 3-10, and Rodgers even said it, about the scoring the touchdown there at the end.
What'd you think of that?
But that was not the play. But I think that they should have took the knee, wasted the timeouts, kicked the field goal at the end. I think the problem is I don't trust the field goal kick. I know
but that's point blank range.
It should be
right.
You know what, Teak? The luck that we've had this year, he'd get it blocked.
Yeah, but at least it was tied. Right. So if he misses it,
right. The worst. Here's the problem. Like they won this football game despite Jeff Ulbrich doing this. Yes. That was beyond dumb. Like if they were in a race. Or if, God forbid, the overrated Jet defense allowed Mac Jones to march down the field and go 70 yards, we'd be losing our minds because here's the plan to me. You kneel on first down.
And he would have went to win the game with a 2-point conversion.
Of course.
Absolutely. Because he has nothing to lose either.
Right.
Of course. You kneel on first and second down. You make them use their timeouts. And then, yes, on third down, try to score a touchdown. Of course.
Yeah.
But to score on first down and give them that much time. And Ulbricht's answer after the game was, well, I forget what he said.
I wanted to be aggressive and score.
I want to be aggressive.
Right. It wasn't even aggressive. They let you score.
Yeah, they did. They let him score.
I laughed about it.
There was no resistance at all.
I laughed about it because, to me, Joe, it was so absurd that Ulbrich actually did that. Luckily, it worked and they won. It didn't matter, but it made no sense.
Ulbricht's not a head coach. I mean, we know that. More and more, I'm in the Mike Vrabel camp. I'm all for this guy from Tennessee if he brings Vrabel in. And let's go, man. I mean, you got to fix the defense. They need a lot of work on defense. Quinton Williams needs to wake up. Quincy Williams needs to wake up. Sauce needs to wake up. They need to draft defensive help. I mean, Mosley's gone. He's done. That's hurt him this year, him not playing. Jermaine Johnson's injury has been a big deal. Obviously, he'll be back next year. But they got to draft. To me, the only thing I'll say about this, and right now, I think they're 8th. Where are they now in the draft?
Yeah, it's 8th, and it's going to be hard to jump any of those teams because they're all bad.
The only way I would
try to do both, but if I had to choose, wide receivers are where you're going to get paid.
Right.
You can
come in and be a 1,500-yard catch guy, and in 4 years, whatever, you're getting a $30 million plus. Probably by then it'll be $35 million a year contract.
Could you imagine Adams, Wilson, and Hunter? Oh, my God.
I mean, it's a trifecta.
But I don't think he's going to be there. I think he's going to go earlier.
Yeah.
But they have to draft. They need help on the defensive line. They need help everywhere on defense. No,
it's definitely defense because the one thing I feel very, very good about off of yesterday, besides the way they won and Rodgers play, is Olu Fashanu. There's your left tackle. They got it right.
They got 3 young studs on the offensive line, Fashanu, Tippmann, and Vera Tucker, who have to stay healthy. All of a sudden, the offensive now the run blocking still is not great.
Yeah, it's been bad. It's been bad the last couple of games.
Yeah, the running game has not been good. It needs to get better. With that said, they got 3 guys that can run the ball. Davis, Allen, and obviously Brees. Obviously Devontae's unbelievable, and Wilson. I mean, you got 2 big-time guys there.
Right. Yeah, the team is not. It's not
that bad.
It's not wanting for talent.
Right. That's right.
It's wanting for the right coaching and the right situations that they put themselves in so they can win football games. And
no question.
Maybe depending on what happens with Aaron Rodgers, a quarterback. It's not. It doesn't feel that far away because so much of like when I look at the Giants, a game I called yesterday, Joe. I look at their roster and I'm like, man, this is just not a good roster.
No.
There's a couple of good players, maybe 5 or 6
Get
or
ready
7.
for Sadir Sanders. I think he's coming.
Right, but there's just not a ton of good players. The Jets have a lot of good players.
Yeah. And again, I want Rodgers back. You know, to me, he's been dealt a bad hand here. Look, he gets hurt the first year, 4 plays into it, doesn't play. This year, everything, first of all, let's be honest, the Robert Saleh, and look, even though I didn't make a big
biggest
deal
disaster was that.
Disaster.
Right. The biggest, yes.
Getting rid of Saleh cost them probably at least 3 wins this year.
Right, and even if you know you're going to do it, don't do it till after the season.
Right. That's right.
Doing it after week 5 made no sense.
No sense
at
all.
And it derailed the season.
And then you add in the kicking game, then you add in the defense, and it's the recipe for being 4-10. It's not on the quarterback.
But he's had moments where he is on him. He's thrown big interceptions. He's had his moments where they could have overcome all those things.
Okay, I understand that, but I can't put that all on him.
It's not all
How
on
about
him.
Greg Zuerlein making a 50-yard field goal at the end of the Denver game?
No, you're right. Then
How
they win.
about the defense stopping Jacoby Brissett, in the last 2 minutes, going right down the field for New England? How about stopping Anthony Richardson? By the way, did you see that play with Richardson yesterday? My God. How about stopping Anthony Richardson twice in the Colt game? Even the Seattle game. Okay, I know he threw the big pick. I know he had missed Wilson in that game. I get it. But they got a lead in the fourth quarter with like 3 or 4 minutes to go, and this idiot, Solomon Thomas, or whoever it was, Kinlaw, one of them, grabs the guy with a horse collar when we're getting off the field on 4th down.
That's the thing about this team. Like if we're
the Dolphins, and let's not forget the Miami game.
Sure.
How about that game? We had an 8-point lead in that game, too, and blew it. You knew they were going to lose when we didn't get to win the coin toss in overtime.
Yeah. Of all the things that have driven me nuts about this team over the last few years, you've hit on it. These mindless penalties.
My God.
Killed them.
Yeah.
And it hasn't changed with the coaching change. That's why, to me, I think we're all uniform that if Mike Vrabel wants this job, he's the number one guy.
Yes.
Because in theory, you would think a guy who played damn well and is a tough guy is going to cut that kind of garbage out.
Right.
Especially the defense. The defense makes dumb. Every week they're good for 2 personal fouls. I mean, it's unreal every week.
Yeah.
Or stupidly lining up offside. How many times have we seen that? Too many men on the field. The obligatory defensive holding penalty, especially, and the one yesterday. Remember, they sacked Mac Jones on 3rd down for about a 50.
Also, covering. You're at a disadvantage. Like you really have to be dialed in mind-wise every play. It's not just a physical game anymore because of how wide open. I mean, think how many 5 wides we see, or throwing the running back in the not even pass protecting, just throwing them into the route. Everybody's in space. And so it's a different game than even a couple of years ago, and that makes it challenging for guys like Sauce. I mean, look, there was a bunch of them in our game. In the Giants game, bunch of pass interference penalties.
There's too many rules, by the way, too.
No, you're right. And by the way, I was having this conversation with Jason McCourty, and I found this interesting because we were talking about illegal man downfield. Like, why is that a penalty?
Right.
And it's like it never affects anything. Like the guy's 2.5 yards past the line of scrimmage. Why do we care? And Jason McCourty said something interesting. He said, well, there's not enough offensive penalties. Right?
There's not enough offensive penalties.
But think about it. There aren't, right? It's like holding. And what else?
Well, was that a bad thing?
Is that why? Can I ask you this question? Is that why they added the stupid illegal formation penalty?
100%.
Oh, come on.
100%.
I mean, that is absurd.
But there aren't a ton of offensive penalties. And so you really got to be egregiously bad, like delay of game, obvious holding, false start. But there's not a ton of them, whereas there's a plethora on defense.
There is a lot more
roughing the passer, defensive holding, illegal contact, pass interference, illegal hands to the face, whatever. There's like a million defensive penalties and not a whole bunch of them that get called on the offensive side of the ball.
They need to curb the rules.
It's interesting when he said that to me. I didn't even think about it until he said it, but he's right.
Yeah, there's too many rules, though.
No, you're right. You're right. It's making the referees think too much in games.
Yep.
And that's not what we
too much a factor in the game, Stinky.
Right.
Come on.
100%.
Right now, as you sit here as a football fan, where do you think the Super Bowl is in a few months?
Where?
What is? Where is?
Well,
it's like I'm asking a trivia question.
I'm rooting for Detroit. I'll tell you that. I'm rooting for Detroit.
Who's the AFC team?
I just can't. I know. The Chiefs don't bother me. They've done nothing to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get you.
Like they have taken nothing away from me.
No, I get you. I kind of feel the same way. Like I don't hate them yet.
Yeah, I don't hate the Chiefs at all. The Steelers, I wouldn't discount them, but what I saw yesterday when they got whacked pretty good by Philadelphia, the game really turned when Najee Harris fumbled. They were down a touchdown. They were driving. They were in the red zone, and Najee on a little pitch out took his eye off the ball, fumbled. That turned the whole game around.
Yeah, Mike is a good coach. He needs to get another championship to go down as one of the best ever.
Well, he's a Hall of Famer anyway.
He already is, but another championship would be great for him.
Right. Those are the teams, though, Teak. There's not a lot
I'm trying
of
to think. Is
Minnesota that good? Can I ask you this? Minnesota's 11-2. We're going to see them tonight. They play the Bears.
Yeah.
How good is Minnesota in your mind?
It's all Sam. And so it's what Sam has been able to do, and he's playing with a lot of confidence. Sometimes he gets knuckleheady, and he makes throws that he thinks he can make, and he shouldn't. And so, but Kevin O'Connell's done a heck of a job of taking that out of him. You only see it every 3 or 4 games.
Right.
You don't see it every week. They're good, and they have great players. So maybe they have a chance, and really their defense is what holds them in everything.
Right.
Because. They confuse the hell out of you. You have no idea what they're trying to do.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you snap the ball and it's not what you thought it was.
And that's our guy Brian Flores there running that defense.
So they have a chance for sure.
I admit, as much as I want Brian Flores to coach the Jets, Vrabel showing interest has moved him into the number one spot.
The fact that he wants the job, I mean, that to me is a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm in for Vrabel. Hire the GM and bring Vrabel in. I'm all for it. I definitely want Rodgers back. I definitely want Devontae back. I want to run it back with one more shot with this group. They got to fix the defense. There's no doubt. Defense needs fixing. You got to figure out, who the kicker is because that's been a disaster this year too. But let's go. Let's see what happens from here. That's how I look at it. By the way, can I ask you a question? What happened to Geno Smith yesterday?
Got her knee injury, I think it was. Yeah.
Major knee injury?
I don't think it's major, but they're a weird team this year because
very weird. Yep.
They should be good, but then they lose to the Giants. Right?
Right.
They should be
And they got killed by Green Bay at home yesterday.
Right. They should be good, then they get crushed by Green Bay. I know Green Bay is good, but they're a weird team.
Very weird. Should have lost to the Jets. I mean, look, the Jets handed them the game.
So I expect that. And to me, with Mike Vrabel, if he gets the job and he really wants it, and that's the new administration, and Mike Vrabel at his opening press conference looks into the cameras and looks at us and says, I want Aaron Rodgers back, fine.
Right.
I want the coach to decide that.
Right.
I don't want ticket sales to decide that. I don't want Woody Johnson to decide that. I want the NFL head coach of my team to decide that. That's what I want.
Right. You just also have to have a plan B.
Well,
that's the challenge.
The plan B, if Rodgers isn't the quarterback, is probably to suck. Unfortunately, that's probably the plan B.
Yeah.
We'll get to more of your calls coming up. Plus, we check in on our Tommy DeVito stat prediction. How did we do? Sean's got his Cinco de 5-0 coming up at 5 o'clock, and we will unveil 2 more moments in the top 24 and 24 countdown, moments 14 and 13 as the top moments, the most memorable moments of 2024. That's coming up a little bit after 5 o'clock. We are live from the Town Fair Tire Studios, powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.